Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Playbook. This week's guest is Melvyn Bermudez from Fairway Independent Mortgage. Melvyn, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Excellent. We're glad you were able to take some time and come on down.
Me too. Love it.
So you are business development with Fairway.
I am, absolutely.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about that? What does that entail?
Yeah, so essentially business development, what I do is a lot of marketing. It's kind of a broader scale of marketing on top of what I do for the branch as far as, our CRM systems and kind of keeping the well-oiled machine running. The other half of that, the business development piece, is basically helping realtors kind of bridge gaps, whether those gaps are tech, social media, just how to, a lot of what I'm learning is a lot of people have a direction and a desire to do something. They just don't know how to do it.
Yeah, or what to do.
Right. So a lot of what I've done the last year, actually, I kicked this whole new section of what I do for business development in January.
Awesome. Well, I've heard nothing but raving reviews, and a lot of people have loved the work. So I'm like, hey, we got to bring you on down and got to talk to the audience and share a little bit more. So, the business development. So one side, I understand that, we have Austin in here, more of like, I call it systems and development, plugging in all the tech, Zapier integrations, making sure everything communicates with each other, drip campaigns, text, autoresponders, everything like that. Why don't we focus a little bit more on what you're doing out in the realtor community? Like how it is that you're helping them. Obviously, you're kind of showing them, giving them a little bit roadmap of what to do and when to do it and why to do it or whatever it might be. But why don't we dissect it a little bit and go through the purpose of doing it and the importance of why you found value in bringing this to the marketplace and why you're also getting a lot of attraction from agents who are wanting to utilize your services.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. So this was like a catalyst, right? So I actually met branch manager Marshall Smith. Many know who he is. One of his really good realtors. She met with me and started talking about her goals and desires with where she wants to go with her business. She's a broker. She had some things she wanted to do and try. Not the most techie. That was my first interaction where I kind of put a couple of pieces of the puzzle together. And what her issue and situation was is you guys are always sold to quite a bit by so many different companies with so many different marketing systems. And a lot of people don't know what else to do. They get sold on that little pitch and then they spend thousands of dollars and then never get to use it because they've never learned how to. So she started that in my first meeting with her, about $3,000 a month in savings that I gave her just by introducing software she already had access to as a realtor through her dues. And we were able to achieve the exact same goal for free with what she wanted to do. So that kind of put me down this path of trying to figure out what else could I possibly bridge for them or maybe just at least study up on. So a lot of this 54 realty agents I've worked with as well, just kind of talking to them and getting a feel for how they learn and what they do. Everybody learns differently, right? So some people are good with, here's a PowerPoint, here's a presentation, here's something you view, follow the steps, you're good, right? Then there's those people that are very hands-on.
Are you noticing the majority are probably hands-on though?
Oh man, you know what? I did some stats the other day just playing around with it just to kind of figure out, because I do Zoom and in-person meetings. I offer Zoom. I would say if I was to put a number to it, collectively, including maybe a couple brokerage meetings with big groups, probably over 100 realtors that I've met with in total, about 8 of them have been Zoom.
Okay.
All 8 that have been Zoom have not been nearly as productive. They usually jump in the car, they're on their way doing something, they're sidetracked. I can't give them that hands-on experience, and nothing really ever happens afterwards.
There's no action after.
No action, no follow-up. They're not really invested, in my opinion. If you're going to take the time to come meet me in person, you're invested a little bit more automatically than the Zoom person, right? So.
And I find, even myself, I don't consider myself, I used to be a lot more into the tech, kind of starting off in real estate, gotten away from it. But even like, hands-on, you can give me instructions over Zoom or by myself and I get very irritated or agitated where it's like something so simple that you're just describing something that somebody's not kind of picking up on the language pattern and you can just be with a click of the mouse, boom, there you are, and you're like, oh, I got it.
It's huge. It's huge. Even today, I just left Red Door Title and we're working with some agents there on tech and just teaching some things. And one of the things I took away from that, the agent looked right at me. She goes, "This is exactly what I needed. Someone to grab my phone in front of me and show me how to do it." So that's where all this stemmed from, and it's been huge since then because I'm taking it to a whole other step, and I'm just saying, how can we provide value as a mortgage company outside of what we do with business? And a lot of that has become just help me. I just need help. And I tell them, come to me with an idea. I don't care what that idea is, what software platform it is. If I don't know how to use it, I'll figure it out. I'll do I'll figure it out. And a lot of that has just been so helpful for them because they're able to come with a specific task and idea of like, hey, I want to market myself better on social media. Where do I start? And then we tackle that first. You know, I'm a big fan of, you know, pick your lane and conquer it before you start adding all these other things on.
Yeah.
So if your goal is, hey, I want to do social media, let's do that first. Then we'll tackle the CRM after, you know, or if it's a situation where it's going to be big enough, we'll actually have that conversation and say, all right, before you do social, let's get your CRM in order so that at least you can field these requests that are coming in and make sure they go somewhere where you can take action on them later. So it's been huge, just being able to help realtors figure out their life. I don't really know another way to put it. You know, that a lot of them really do know exactly what they want to do. They just don't know how to do it.
And then a couple questions on this. One, is it, so the way I'm hearing it, I just kind of want to reiterate, with you, it's not like a one-size-fits-all type of model. It's like, hey, you're coming to me with the plan. I'm going to tailor a program for you, whether it's like CRM integration, maybe we're talking about drip campaigns, maybe it's we're making some videos, we're getting up to YouTube, maybe it's other social, maybe we're getting your Instagram business account set up, your Facebook business account, whatever it might be. It's like, I'm going to help you, but you got to bring to me what it is you want to work on.
Exactly. I want them to come at least with an idea. You know, I'm not telling them to have this whole brainstormed out thing, right? Even if they have to figure out the idea while they're there, I just say, hey, I need to know what you want to do so I can better get you down that path of getting that accomplished, you know? And then we tackle it. And sometimes I started with hour-long meetings, and now I've kind of progressed. They're about 2.5 to 3 hours long, depending on the person.
Almost half-day workshops.
Exactly. So it's been awesome because I've gotten a lot of follow-up meetings. You know, it took a while to get that spun up, but once they start seeing the proof behind the pudding, they're like, oh, wow, okay, I can do this. You know, it's not as daunting as one would expect, whether it is a follow-up boss CRM or, you know, KV Core, all these other software platforms everybody has access to. Once I can sit in front of them and say, this is how you do it.
And this is why.
And this is why it's better for you to do it this way. It changes the game. And it's been so rewarding for me to see kind of like when the light bulb goes off, you know,
or get it.
When they post that first video and they're like, oh, I got this many likes this way. And it's like, yeah, man, it's just knowing how to do something before you dive into it sometimes is so much more important than just diving in.
Yeah.
You know?
And full transparency, I mean, there's many reasons I started up this podcast a while ago. But one of them was there's so many agents here who I think have a lot of value to bring to the marketplace, but they're scared shitless of video.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that component for a second. You're going to give homework, you're showing them what to do.
Yeah.
But do you find, and I don't even know if you do this, but are you finding better like to initiate that action, get out of their comfort zone, once every agent from what I see does the 1 to 3 videos, it's downhill from there. It's just like we got to get those freaking 3 out. And then get you through those kind of, that nervousness, that anxiety, and then you're fine. If you give them the task, hey, go shoot these videos, what I've noticed a lot of them won't. But if I come in, we're doing something like, hey, we're going to get the camera rolling, I'm shooting for you. We get them out there, then they'll go home and shoot on their own and just pick up where you left off.
Absolutely.
What are you seeing when it comes to the video?
So just that, I mean, it is a daunting task. They don't want to do it on their own because, they'll spend so much time trying to figure out how to edit and how to do this and how to do that. And again, it just comes with the setup part first, and I like to teach them, hey, before you even start making videos, here's how you make the video. Here's how the captions work. Here's why you need the captions. We go over the basics first, and then I offer to make that first video with them. So you'll see a lot of me show up with other realtors as like a duo doing a video talking about something because it's an easy way for them to do their first video, get a taste of what the response could be. And then that gives them kind of that, okay, I can do this mentality where they'll start doing it themselves.
Right.
And
it's just kind of, it's like the tricycle, right? You're the training wheels.
Bingo.
Right? I'm teaching you how to ride the bike, but pretty soon we're taking these things off.
Yeah, and to your point earlier too, everybody has the same fear. Every single person I've talked to, I don't like the way I sound, I don't like the way I look, I don't like the way I do this. No one's going to find me funny. No one's going to find all these different negative annotations. And the reality is, you just have to do it. One thing I took. I have a personal coach that I work with for social media, Giselle Ugarte. She's incredible. And some of the things I take from her are huge. One thing she said is your value is more important than your aesthetic. And that stuck with me very heavily because at the end of the day, what we all do, and I'm very guilty of it, is oh, that's a good idea. I want to make a reel about that later. Later never comes.
Yeah, no, and 100%. So I was in coaching with Tom Ferry for years, and one thing that he said that always stuck to me is kind of look, get over your fear. How you look on camera is how you look in person. So
Bingo.
You're the same person. So stop being scared and get out there and shoot the video because you look the exact same.
That's it. And at the end of the day, what I tell people all the time, and I'm very open, I'm very forward with a lot of what I teach, and I use, and I make this joke all the time, those glamour shot realtors from back in the day that are still using those photos, and it's been 20, 30 years. it's so big with the people that we're working with now, the younger groups, and even me, I'm only 34, and even my age group, we look at things a little bit differently, you know? We live in the world of being catfish. We live in a world where people are pretending to be someone, right? So the last thing I want to do is do business with someone who's putting off a fake persona.
Correct.
They're filtering themselves up. They're only showing one side of things. They're not trickling in their personal life and their pieces. I can't connect with that. And if I did, even if I had a good conversation with somebody, and then I meet them in person, I'm like, you're not the same person that you showed. Like, you're not showing me who you really are. So that really kills the vibe, and the trust automatically is kind of squashed there. And I've even talked to realtors who have been guilty of doing that, and they've admitted it. Oh, man, that's when they probably tell me that they're no longer looking for a house. And then 2 weeks later, I see they signed with somebody else. It's like, yeah, because you broke the trust immediately. Because
you're not authentic.
Yeah, you're not authentic. So,
and I think a lot of, from what I've seen on mine, and obviously you're seeing at a much higher level and more of it, but I see a lot of agents worried about what you said, the glamour, right?
Yes.
Hey, I need to get the results. I need this to be perfect. If I say something wrong, say this. I need somebody to cut it. I need somebody to edit it. Everything has to be perfect. When I watch this 20 times, I'm still going to find something wrong with that. Don't like the way I look. Let me reshoot it there because my eye shadow was off, whatever it might be. But like when I mess up, even on like the podcast or something, I'd be like, let it roll. Show them that we're fucking up here. Show them that we're making mistakes. It's more authentic. It's who we are. They're getting to know us. This isn't canned. There's no script we're reading.
Right.
We are who we are. And I think that a lot of agents, from what I've seen within our organizations, the one I've worked with, having the psyche that they got to have like that professional production. Is that kind of what you think? When agents out the gate, is that a lot of their concern?
Absolutely. A lot of them think, big conversation I always have is, oh, I don't have the right equipment. Oh, I don't have the right this. Oh, I don't have, green screens or backgrounds or that. You don't need any of that. Most of us have a phone. Yeah. This thing is a great camera. You don't need to do all that. If you want to get something, get a mic. The mic just helps you kind of like tunnel vision, zones in, you get rid of all that noise. But a lot of them are just, they have that exact fear. And it's just like, no. Your value is way more important than what you look like or where you're at when you're filming it, and you have to live in that moment. If you read an email, see a post, see something that strikes you as, man, that's great information, stop what you're doing. I don't care if you're in the line at Chick-fil-A. They're going to respect you more for taking time out of your day at that moment than doing this beautiful production with the plants in the corner. And, everybody does is the lights in the background, and they don't care about that anymore. They just want to connect with you on a personal level,
Absolutely.
And I see it all the time too, the realtors that go really far down the rabbit hole of posting all their just listed, just sold, and like their whole Instagram profile is just houses. Me as a consumer, I can't connect with the house. Like I'm gonna love to see your houses trickled in. I really would, but I want to see who you are and be able to connect with you on a personal level. And I use this analogy all the time too. It's like, back in school, you had a teacher that would always be kind of open. You had those teachers you couldn't talk to, and then there's the one that you could always say whatever you wanted, ask whatever you wanted, never made you feel stupid. That's what our generation's looking for now. They are, I've heard a lot of articles, seen a lot of things. Highest paid, most educated individuals that hit the nation is what's coming up right now, right? But a lot of them are book smart, They don't know what escrow is. They don't know what a homeowner's insurance is or why they need it or flood or what a flood zone. Nothing, So they want to be able to connect with someone on a personal level so they can ask those stupid questions and not feel stupid for it.
And one thing, and I still haven't seen it, maybe, I'm not on too often, so I haven't really been looking for it as when I was in years past. But one thing I always do, every time that people are posting, most of it being photos, not the videos, it's always the victory, right? It's always the closing or the escrow going into contract or the house they just listed that went into escrow, whatever it might be. But nobody's showing like the bad, the dirty shit, like an inspection just killed a deal and here's why. Look at this, you believe this. Or, financing contingency, closing day, I got moving trucks here. We're not closing this way.
Right.
Like give that other side of what to expect, because that's where I feel you as a consultant or an advisor have more value to the consumer rather than when they're constantly seeing the B-roll of everybody showing the sold sign up in front of the house.
You are speaking my language. Yeah, that's huge right now. Even in the mortgage industry, I listen to a lot of podcasts. One of the guys I follow, he talks about how the market shifted, and they ran dry on money. We all had that COVID order taking situation going on, and when that stopped, he couldn't pay for leads anymore for his business, and he said, "What am I going to do?" I took to social media. Same in negative annotation. No one's going to like me. I'm not fun. I'm not this. I'm not that. First year into it, 4,000 applications. Damn. The last podcast I listened to was in February. The month of February, he pulled in like 300 or 400. just for that 1 month. And all he does is 30 to 60-second edutainment videos talking about those things. He talks about, hey, these are things to look for, you know. And I tell my realtors all the time, like, take to social media, take to reels, more than pictures if you can, because they live on forever, right? The pictures, they have to go find them and see them and happen to roll across them, but the reel will live on Facebook, Instagram forever, and it could spool up 3 weeks from now, 3 months from now, 3 years from now. You know, just take to that and use your expertise. You know, when you're doing an inspection, you know what to look for. You know, I use my trucks all the time. When I go to buy an off-road vehicle, I stick my finger in the frame rail to make sure there's no mud in there, because I know to do that, right? As a real estate agent, you go to inspect a house, you know common things that people overlook all the time. Like, we need to inspect this and make sure this part is good. You know, have those conversations. Give some people some real world things, because at the end of the day, your numbers are great, sales are great, just listed, just sold, beautiful. But they're looking for more meat and potatoes to fill that gap. And by providing information, like you said, given those real world situations of what to do, not to do, they're going to trust you without even meeting you right off the bat, because you're real and you're giving them something that they've never heard before.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think one of the things too is a lot of them, like you said, won't know what to say or what to do. Like, oh, what are these things? What should I do? And I'm like, listen, you're dealing with this shit on a daily basis. Yeah. As soon as something goes wrong or something happens, take out your phone and record it. Start creating a library. You don't got to put it out right there. But boom, at least it's the content, and you're building this library of things. I lost it during inspection. This came up. I couldn't get insurance. Roof. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I mean, within a week, you'll have 6 months worth of content.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I tell people that too. It's like, they live in this now moment, like, oh, I got to stop and post it now. And then they're spending 30, 40, 50 minutes trying to figure out how to edit their video. And I'm like, no, just get the content. If you get bored later, you get a glass of wine and you're at a brewery, I don't care, having a drink by the pool, that's when you play around with the content. It doesn't have to be immediate, you know. And I just recently kind of put that together in my head, because we went to a Fairway conference, a social summit, and one of our lenders there, he has a photographer, a videographer that follows him around and just records everything he does. And it's been months since then. I'm like, where the heck is this guy's content? Like, why is he not quick to post it? He's posting little pieces, little by little, throughout the whole year, because it's relevant all the time. The stuff that's relevant then and there gets posted then and there within that time frame, right? But something that doesn't change, he just has an arsenal of footage he just throws out on a regular basis.
And then he recycles it on different platforms. So it ends up being like 3, 4, 5 years of content.
Yeah. And, you know, people are so afraid to get into the content creating. And at the end of the day, I tell people to just set the tone, right? You know, and I use one of our HR reps as an example, because she kind of has taken a different dive into a different side of the business from HR. She's also going into sales, and she did it beautifully. She made a video, a reel. She said, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what you know me for. Here is where I'm going. Here is where I'm heading. She even went as far as to say, I understand social media is huge for our business. So here I am, awkwardly making videos. Please follow me and watch how I progress and watch how much better I get at this. And it's cool because it set the tone for anybody who gets to her page now knows if that's not the most beautiful edited video in the world, now they already know, oh, she's just starting this, you know. And if you go back and look at people who did start or who are huge now, you go all the way to the beginning of their Instagram or the beginning of their YouTube, they all started the same way.
Well, even even like if obviously, you know, everybody's going to like have their different kind of flavor or what they're wanting, but as far as I know, unless anything's changed, the most watched podcast is the Rogan podcast. Yeah. And it's kind of like what we're watching here, you know, it's nothing super glitz and glamour. He doesn't have a lot of backdrops or anything. They're, you know, usually in a t-shirt, shorts, jeans, and it's just kind of laid back having that conversation. And what I've looked is the people who are having success and getting traction, the more casual and the more authentic that they are, the more views and likes they're getting, the more relatable they are as a human being, where it's not kind of like this facade where I've seen people who kind of put on the stages and the fancy glitz and glamours, and you got the music backdrop in and out, and it's like a damn big production. It's like a lot of people start to get turned off from that. Is that what you kind of see in your sector as well?
Oh, tons. You know, there's tons of the glitz and glamour. There's tons of the beautiful posts. There's tons of, I just use the word extra. You know, they're just doing too much. You know, at the end of the day,
it's like home sold, and it's like the curse of Wyatt, right?
Oh, yeah, no.
You know, with all the glitter and shit.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You know, it's more important to, you know, man, there's a quote that I can't pull it off the top of my head, but it's something else I learned in coaching. It's like, you know, you want it to be bold and instead of beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be all calligraphy and people need to understand what it is. You know what I mean? They need to be able to go to your Instagram page, go to your Reels section, and without even playing the reel, know exactly what the heck you're about to talk about. You know, and just make it bold and stop getting away from all that pretty extra stuff. They want you real, And you mentioned earlier, you know, how we're just real people. We're in here talking, we mess up, we keep rolling, right? That's what they like. And from a psychological perspective, I only know this because one of my coaches is a psychologist that does TED Talks. She's put up a statistic. She's like, people are like 98% more likely to do business with you when you screw up.
Yeah.
Because it gives them something that makes them feel more comfortable with you. They're like, oh, they're human, they're normal. We can have a normal interaction.
Well, yeah, and think about it. I mean, if you kind of get into the psyche of the consumer doesn't know the back end, obviously you being licensed in mortgages, you know a little bit about what goes on in this as well. A lot of times, out of our control, things come up where these closings still come down. I don't want to say necessarily last minute, but last day. A lot of stress, anxiety. We're working our ass off. We make it happen. But it's all this beautiful glitz and glamour. Another home sold like it's this peaceful, tranquil, zen-like transaction. So now you've picked up one of these buyers, right? And sellers, and it's a little stressful and frantic coming down the wire. They're thinking they're having a poor experience with you because you're not showcasing that. So now they're feeling, hey, we're the outlier here. We didn't get all the glitter and sparkles, even though they're going to see it after the fact. They're here panicked because, and all the reels and all the posts, they haven't seen any of that. So they feel now, hey, this is just something we're experiencing, not that this is the norm in the business.
Yeah, right. I think it'd be huge in a situation like that. The more you could showcase how things do go wrong and how you can avoid it.
The reality.
Yeah,
the reality of the business.
That's it. You know, explaining things. I mean, for us on the mortgage side, just something as simple as, you know, I was dealing with this actually earlier with a realtor, and it's just dealing with the bank statements, just understanding like, hey, man, we need it. We need to prove this and this, and we need to know where it came from, and it has to be done more than the day before closing, and this is why, you know? And just explaining those things that could possibly happen and the why behind the request, huge. 100%. You know, you explain why you need something, and then they're more inclined to get it for you. But if you just say, hey, I need this, and this is, you know, and if you can get on social media.
If you want to close, you got to get it to me.
Yeah, and that happens so often. But, you know, if you can get on and educate people about what not to do or how to do something better, or, you know, hey, here's 10 tips to make your, you know, home buying process
usually give them a number,
easier.
like
You know,
3
like,
things to avoid while under contract.
Right. So just keep it simple. And, you know, what I really want to get through to a lot of people is, we get in this mindset, and I know with multiple different jobs I've had and everything, right? To us, it becomes natural, it becomes easy. We're like, oh, it's a dumb question. It is for us because we do this for a living. They don't know our business. They don't know the answers to these things. So we really got to throw that out the window and stop saying, oh, what a dumb question, and say more like, oh, they don't do this, you know?
Not only that, too, but I do notice, and I'm guilty of it as well sometimes, so I try to be conscious of it, and it's on the real estate and mortgage side, but stop using our acronyms that we think the general public knows.
Yeah, jargon's huge. Yeah.
Because people are like, what the hell are you talking about here?
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of, even though it's just our lingo in the business, it kind of sounds like kind of, you know, tech talk and stuff. It's like over their head, and they don't understand what it means. So it's like really breaking it down and explaining what these things are and understanding that, hey, it's second nature to you. We've been dealing with it forever, but this is the first experience with it.
Yeah, jargon's huge. I'm ex-military, and I used to do it all the time right when I got out, and people were like, what are you talking about? It's a whole other language. Yeah. I'm like, oh, sorry, man, this is what I meant to say, you know? BAH, I'm like, no, basic housing allowance. That's all that is, you know?
So let me kind of go back a little bit on one thing you picked up on, and I'm just curious on this. So I know, like, when I went in doing social media and starting, one of the few I had, like, the end goal vision of how this was all going to work, where I was going to plug it in different platforms. I kind of sat with somebody, gave the vision, and then he dissected, like, all right, we got to do this first, get it plugged into CRM, then we're going to do these for drips, get on these platforms, formulated the whole plan based on what it's going to look like at the end. I got to think some agents are coming to you and be like, hey, this is what I visualize, the end piece being, this is what I want to be known for, this is what I want to get out of the marketplace. But from my interacting with agents, I got to think most agents are going to be of the mindset, I don't know what the hell I need to do, but I know I need to do something.
Right.
How do you help those agents?
You know, with them, I really just try to, I ask probing questions. I really want to find out, like, what did you lack at previously? Or, you know, where were some areas that you got frustrated with on a regular basis that maybe we could bridge the gaps for? And usually by asking simple questions like that, that just opens the door for them to just start kind of, you know, I mean, for lack of a better word, it's like word vomit. They just start talking about all the issues and all the things. And then from there, I can kind of pinpoint, okay, well, you said this and this. Maybe if we start here, that would be better for you. You know, for some, it's getting the CRM set up first. For some, they just need to dive in and start doing it before they get out of the mindset of they want to do it.
Right.
You know, so it's really just kind of feeling the vibe and seeing what they are trying to get across to me.
Get into action a little bit.
And just let's get it moving. Whatever that is, let's get it moving. If it's your CRM, let's start simple. Find me all your contacts. Where are they? Are they on your iPhone? Are they in Gmail? Like, what are we doing here? Where are they coming from? Where are we trying to put them? let's start there. And then I say, let's pick one lane, let's conquer that first, and then we'll move on. Too often do I get people that come in, well, I want to do social media, I want to do TikTok, I want to make YouTube videos, I want to do that, I want to do this. I'm like, we can't do any of that yet because you haven't done any of it before. So let's start with one thing. And usually for me, I push Instagram, Facebook first because that is one of the biggest ways and easiest ways to market yourself for free for business. I say, let's start there and then let's move on to the next once you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, but let's definitely jot them all down and let's revisit. And I let them know we don't have to do all this in our one session. Like, come back as many times as you want. FaceTime me, I don't care. We'll do it from on the go. I don't care. You know, but a lot of it's just figuring out what they're trying to say, because a lot of them do know exactly where they want to go. They just don't really know how to put it into words. So then sometimes I'm just like, well, you show me what you like that another realtor does, and let's see what that is, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah.
So
makes perfect sense. So like with the agents kind of come in, and obviously me telling agents to, hey, you need to be on video, or honestly any profession for that matter, and really get the content out there, let the audience know who you are. Why don't you share so that way they can kind of hear it from somebody who's helping agents? You don't need to drop names or anything like that, but some success stories. Give an example, maybe somebody's coming who was unsure about doing it and how they're now comfortable with doing whatever plan it is that you've implemented and some of the success they might be experiencing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll use a more recent interaction here. Big radio show host, awesome human being, you know, had a lot of fun chatting, figuring things out. So we tested some theories, you know, and again, starts with the setup. My big push is setup. You know, you could do videos all day. If you're doing them wrong, it's not gonna yield any results. You know, so we had this conversation, and the conversation was, hey, here's how you set up a reel. The reason you do it this way, you do the hook, you do your captions, you do your meat and potatoes. If you want to brand yourself at the end, that's great. Really don't have to. They're on your profile. They know who you are. If you set up your Instagram right, you don't have to tell them who you are and give them your phone number and all that. It's there. So we did that, tested some theories, looked at previous videos, maybe 190, 290 views-ish, right? I said, hey, do this, let's try it, post it, see what happens, right? 24 hours later, over 1,000 views in that first video.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't someone that was afraid. That's not someone that's afraid to be in front of the camera, not someone that's afraid to be in front of a microphone, just didn't know the process of how you should properly introduce a video or properly say something, you know? That's been huge. I've had a couple other instances where, you know, people just want to get in front of the camera and start recording, but then there's that tech gap, so I'm showing them how to use their iPhone. You'd be amazed how many people have these cool devices and don't ever know how to use any of it. So there's been a lot of success stories. I have so many people that are like, what? Active cruise control is that? You know, like, I don't even know I had that feature.
How do I use it?
But yeah, that's one success story that's more recent. You know, outside of that.
So let me ask you that just real quick for the audience out there, because you did say this person, you know, major into radio. When he got the views, was some of that because of who he or she was, and the audience might have known him and recognized him, or could any agent really experience the views because of the way that they did the reel and the content that they put out?
Any agent could experience those views. Any agent. Okay. If you look at it, you know, I try to tell people quality over quantity, right? Everybody is stuck on this fixated, how many followers? Oh my gosh, this guy has 5,000 followers, 40,000 followers. Doesn't matter. I just got 250 new followers yesterday from some bot. They do nothing for me. I can't market to fake accounts. Like, I don't care how many followers I have. You know, so this individual has plenty of followers, but no astronomical amount, right? It's really how you position it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're open it with, hi, this is so-and-so from 54 Realty. Personally, I've already scrolled to the next video. I'm lost. I'm like, nah, I don't need to see that. Whatever. Hi, this is so-and-so with this marketing team. I don't care. I'm gone, right? But if you hit me with, hey, you want to learn how to get $35,000 towards your closing cost help? I'll tell you next, you know? I'm already hooked. I'm like, 35,000? Oh, tell me more, you know? It's all about how you position it and, you know, making sure that it's visible to people. Just knowing some simple facts. 97% of users on Instagram watch in silence. You know, so if you don't have captions and you're just rolling video left and right, probably not getting that many views because they're not going to pay attention because they can't see what you're trying to hook. So that's where the hooks come into play. That's why it's so important to kind of position things properly before you start recording, because you could just spin tires for years just making cool videos that no one will ever see just because it's not picking up, you know? And one thing I try to help people bridge too is just understanding how often and how much Instagram is changing. It's the whole AI world we live in. You know, Instagram about a week ago had another new change, and they're pushing a new hashtag strategy. So just knowing how that works, you know, now they're doing like, you know, everybody has a different outtake, but you know, it's like 3 to 6 or 6 to 10, and you know, make sure you have relevant hashtags mixed in with trending hashtags, you know, and Also, using keywords and captions is a new thing. They just changed Instagram to now there's a For You page where you don't even have to have hashtags, and I can type in real estate Tampa and it's going to show me everything related because people are using keywords in their captions for the photos. So just knowing how the background things work allows you the opportunity to better present yourself and waste less time trying to get people.
So I got two questions when it comes to social media, and just kind of, obviously I want you to give valuable information, but I know you could probably go very deep on these things, so just kind of a brief overview.
For sure.
One, and obviously I'm sure it's different for the different platforms. You talked about quality over quantity, and I think sometimes agents they hear something, 2 videos, I'm just throwing it out there a week, and they're like, shit, I got to get my 2 videos, haven't done it, so they're shooting whatever they can to make sure they hit that number. When you're coaching the agents or other businesses, whoever it might be, on the social media, do you have a set cadence and time, a certain, under 2 minutes, under minute time that you're shooting the videos, and a certain cadence? Hey, every day at Thursday we're doing a video, 1 a week at least. Are we doing it 2 a week, 1 a month, or is it just, hey, when you have valuable content, throw it on out there?
Yeah, so I go the route of if you have valuable content, throw it out there.
Okay.
You could miss the boat. You know what I mean? If there's a new update that comes out, something that just happened, right? Just take to the camera. It doesn't matter where you're at. Just do it. You just have to do it. If you sit there and try to plan things out and worry about what time of day to post and all that, it's not going to work out too well because you're going to get sidetracked, especially in our industry. You could be completely free for the week and then all of a sudden have 8 listings and 5 new loans to do. You never know what's going to happen.
So I'm going to pause here for 1 second because this is just where my brain's going. I want to see if it's kind of what you're talking about. Realtors are all going to the same conference. 5,000 agents might be in a big auditorium. Breaking news. Do I want to be the guy who rushes out, gets on camera, and shoots the breaking news and try to beat it? Almost like, a news story breaks out and it's like, what news channel is going to get it out first?
Right.
Am I trying to just get out mainstream first because then it's going to start that algorithm to start before everybody else gets the post? Is it like you want to kind of get it out that quick, or are you more talking about, hey, sit in your seat, you don't got to be the first one out there, but just make sure if you go back to your room on a break or something, you're getting out the same day?
Yeah, don't rush out the door.
Okay.
Because what's going to happen there is you're going to miss out on something else. You know what I
Right.
mean? So at the end of the day, you're never going to always beat anybody to the punch that fast. But what I want to get across there is basically just get it out there. Your followers are different than my followers that are different from maybe Raz's followers and anybody else in this group. And a lot of people have this thing of like, I'm not going to make a video because everybody else is already doing it.
Right.
They're not seeing your, I'm not seeing everybody else's video. You know what I'm going to see? I'm going to see your video. I'm going to see your office's video because that's who I follow. That's who's probably going to show up in my For You page is the people that I follow or mutual friends or liked individuals. It's a whole different mindset, but people get so, man, someone else already did that. I'm good. You have no idea who you can impact. You have a whole different group of people that follow you than that person or those people. So just get out there and do it. If you read an email that's like, oh man, that's great information. If you thought that, I guarantee someone else was going to think 100%. The same thing. So just take to that and just do it as soon as you possibly can. And don't stress so much about the timing and all that, especially now with these algorithms and reels. There is no longer like what's the best time of day to post. I mean, it just lives on forever. Just
get it out there.
Just get it out there. That's it.
And then my other question is obviously I know you were just off the cuff doing a pretty deep dive there on Instagram. Give us a brief overview of what, like obviously if I'm an agent who's new to social media,
okay,
I get out there, this shit is overwhelming. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Do I got to take the same video and put it in all places? Obviously, I know that's not the right answer.
Right.
Different content is going to perform different on social sites. If I'm an agent coming, I don't have any of these accounts set up, but we're going to come up with a game plan. Eventually, I'm going to be everywhere. Why don't you have a quick interview, just quick information on the purpose of each site that you're utilizing and the type of content you want to post on them. I know the 4 main ones that I hear: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and then now TikTok.
Okay.
I get mixed reviews on Twitter. Like
Twitter's like a bashing board.
Yeah, or it's more of like it's like a Hollywood athlete type thing.
Yeah.
I don't really see too much value going on in there. But on those 4 sites, are those the 4 main ones that you incorporate at some point, or are there other ones as well? And when do you incorporate and why? Just a quick overview on each one.
Perfect. I'll give you a quick overview. So first and foremost, business-wise, Instagram, Facebook, those are going to be your 2 top. They're just geared towards business. They're structured for business. Everything they offer, the messaging platform, the options that they give you, and settings. I mean, everything there is business generated, right? It's going to help you so much, right? And so much of the world is on Facebook. So that's the first, that's my main go-to, right? If you were to go to the next thing, some people it's kind of hit or miss. Let's talk about YouTube. YouTube is very successful for a lot, right? But when you deep dive into YouTube, most people that are successful in YouTube have previously gotten successful with short form content. If you want to look at it from that, people hear it all the time talking about jargon. Short form is like your Reels and TikToks, and then long form is your YouTube videos, right? The way YouTube has gotten successful for most is they get hooked people with the short form. Let's say you're talking about how to close on your home properly or how to buy a home in Tampa, Florida, right? You're giving them a 30 to 60 second, maybe 90, you can go up to 90 now on Reels. You're giving them that little blurb, that little like hook, and they're like, okay, that's good information. For some, that's plenty. For others, they want to learn more. That's when they take to your YouTube and they say, I'm going to watch that 4-minute video that they did on that same topic.
So it's almost like the snippet, the Reel's the snippet.
Exactly, and YouTube's doing their own version of Reels, the YouTube Shorts. They haven't really blasted off as much as the other two platforms, but they're there. And I think those are, hugely beneficial once you get into that YouTube realm. But personally, I think you should build up your short form content first, get a following, and then kind of gauge, do they want to know more? Like what do they want to know? And take to your story and use your polls. Stories, use that to get your personality out there. They're gone in 24 hours and move on. TikTok's a little weird. TikTok's got a different algorithm altogether. You look at Instagram's always almost in silent. Most of us have iPhones and it's always switched to vibrate, so we don't even hear Instagram until we click the video. TikTok's always on loud as soon as you open it. Not a very good messaging platform when it comes to trying to get business done. They don't have as many options. It's not geared towards it. Instagram, you click on a reel. I click on real estate. Probably 9 out of the 10 videos I'm going to watch next are going to be real estate related. TikTok hasn't really gotten that algorithm down yet. And it's becoming more of a store than anything else. You see TikTok shop on so many things now. I tried to get my own business-related TikTok account. It was like jumping through hoops. I didn't even finish it. That could get better over time, but most people that are successful on TikTok, even that mortgage guy that I was telling about earlier, his messages and stuff still get fielded through Instagram. And Instagram allows opportunities to export things and create, bookings, and there's just so many options there that TikTok just doesn't provide yet. It's just a whole different beast. So that's when, I think there's value in it. I truly think there's value in TikTok and YouTube. But I think for anyone, especially those that get overwhelmed, start with what you know. Start with Facebook and Instagram. Most of us have been on it for a while. I've met so many realtors recently that have had Instagram for years and just never posted anything. We call them in our trainings lurkers. They're lurking with love. They're not going to ever like anything or comment, but they got Instagram, so they go watch. But that's how people are. They're going to watch. They want to know what you're all about.
It's like the voyeurism aspect.
It is, yeah. And people just get so intrigued by your lifestyle, and I think that's where those platforms come into play.
What about like a LinkedIn? Besides putting up your profile there, any value on using that platform?
Yeah, so good question there. So LinkedIn actually has gone up. As of the beginning of the year, it was like up 67% in usage. Now LinkedIn, from what I've understood and what I've trained on and kind of researched, is LinkedIn's becoming like kind of a I don't even know the word. They're checking your they're validating you, right? They're going to LinkedIn to make sure you're not just a realtor that became a realtor during COVID, does this part time, and just switched over from Burger King or something. It's
almost like your true social proof.
Right. So they're going there to see what you had going on, and most people don't really care. If you were a wedding planner for 30 years, they don't really care that you're a wedding planner now. You're a real estate agent, right? They just want to see that you have some sort of backing. You have something there. Because for a lot, in this industry, there's a lot of part-timers. There's a lot of people that actually have side jobs or side gigs, and some people aren't really looking for that. They're looking for someone who really knows the market and who is dedicated and actually shows some sort of proof, and that's what they're using LinkedIn for. The flip side is LinkedIn's been used a lot for recruiting, whether that's recruiting other agents to work for you or recruiting other people for other different markets, whatever, videography, whatever you can think of. But yeah, LinkedIn's still pretty successful, and I see it growing in the future. What it's going to grow into, I have no idea, but it's definitely being used a lot more than before. It definitely sounds
headed in that direction with 67% up in taking usage.
Yeah, and a lot of that's been since COVID. Just people are just kind of vesting that people are, who they say they are, and they're doing what they say they do.
Yeah, they're not Bitcoin by night and agent by day.
Oh yeah, right.
In and out of different trades.
Mary Kay.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But Melvyn, you've been a wealth of knowledge, I think, on this podcast. We greatly appreciate your time. For any agent out there, obviously, that's looking to connect with you, for business development, maybe you can help them with their social media. I'm sure there's a lot of this audience out there that is in the same situation that we've all been in, including myself. They know they need to do something. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to get started.
Right.
But they don't want to get left behind. What's the best way to connect with you? We're going to share all this on our social media sites as well. We'll add links so that way you can share it on yours.
Beautiful.
But what's going to be the best email, and if you have like usernames off your social, you can drop those too. But best email and phone number for them to reach you on for sure.
Absolutely. So easiest way to find me at Melvyn Ray, Melvyn with a Y, MELVYNRAY. On there, you'll have a link to my digital business card. Everything you could possibly imagine is linked to my page. This isn't the Wizard of Oz. The curtain's gone. You can find everything all the time. Phone number, 813-406-1455. Email, super easy as well. If you don't grab it from my digital card, you can get it. It's Melvyn. So again, Melvyn, MELVYN. The letter B is in Bravo at Fairway, M as in Mary, C.com.
All right. Well, we greatly appreciate once again taking the time to come on
appreciate
down and be a guest on this week's podcast. And we definitely appreciate all of you for tuning in to another episode of the Real Estate Playbook.
Awesome.